Welcome to Catchy Cartoons. Today I'm going to show you how to draw one of the festive season's most beloved characters, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. We're going to be using a simple and graphic style today, which is sure to be easy and fun for everyone. So let's get drawing. We'll start the drawing process with a rough drawing comprised of simple shapes and forms. Starting with an oval for the head. Place an eye line at around the halfway point and a center line. 2 little button eyes on the eye line, and of course a big circle for his soon-to-be shining nose. We'll give him a nice little smile and fairly big ears. For Rudolph's body, we'll draw a big oval. For his neck, we'll sketch in a cylinder-like shape that tapers out from the head to the body. For his back leg, we'll angle the line inwards from his bottom to his remarkably tiny little feet. To indicate the hooves, we'll simply draw a small W shape and take the line back up, but on a steeper angle. For the front leg, we'll take the line straight down to his toe, where we'll draw another little W, and back up at about the same angle as his back leg. Repeat for the other front leg, and once again for the back leg. We'll start the tail about 1/3 of the way down his bottom. Angle the line out to about the lowest point of his belly, and arc the line up to where the leg meets the body. Now, since Rudolph is the youngest of Santa's reindeer, we'll give him antlers that aren't quite fully formed. Let's take the line up, creating the first point, and we'll simply draw a check mark to create the second point. Take the line down and across. Repeat for the other antler, but be sure to make this one a different size. And we'll move on to the first of the 2 tie-down stages. Here is where we'll really start to define Rudolph as we adjust, push and pull the shapes and forms, along with adding some detail as we start to bring our drawing to life. You know, the fun part of the drawing. So let's make the muzzle a bit longer and rounder. Commit to those cute button eyes of his. I think his nose should be bigger, and we'll just make a subtle change to his mouth. Let's add some curve to the top of this ear to make it rounder, and commit to the other ear as it's looking just fine. We'll indicate the inner ears and move on to the antlers. Let's just adjust the shape and size of the screen right antler to push the asymmetry, as asymmetry is definitely our friend when trying to create an interesting and engaging drawing. Now, as we move on to the body, I have to say that our Rudolph is looking a bit, well, basic. In fact, let's just face it, everyone. His body just looks like a potato with 4 sticks for legs. There's just no real sense of design here. But we'll soon fix that by arcing the line out as we make the lower throat thicker. Then a nice, long, sweeping arc inwards down to his toes. With just these 2 simple arced lines, do you see how we suddenly created a sense of sophistication while still retaining the simple and graphic nature of this design? Seemingly small adjustments like this can make big differences in your drawing. And we'll adjust the angle a touch as we move up the leg. Have you noticed the contrasting form that was created with the addition of this sweeping arc up the leg, and how it plays so nicely against the straight line? Please leave a comment if you did, or about anything else for that matter. We'll add another subtle arc as we move down the other leg, through the hooves and up. Let's push the design as we arc the line inwards through his neck, then add a nice gentle curve through to his back. And we'll straighten out the line that runs along his back. We'll make his bottom a bit bigger as we arc around his backside, and continue the line down to his toes, but at a different angle to the original rough drawing. Notice how the line flows smoothly from the neck into his body, through his bottom and down the leg. But I think we'll just thicken up this leg by making a slight change to the angle. Let's round off his belly and add a subtle curve to the other back leg. Indicate the hooves, and we'll adjust the tail so that it flows smoothly into Rudolph's backside. And Rudolph's backside seems like a good spot to take a little break and check our progress. Even though this is a very simple design, we can still go wrong if we don't take the time to make sure we're heading in the right direction. And if you find that you're not, now is the time to make any corrections before we move on to the next stage. And after you've done that, why not hit the like button if you're enjoying this video? And of course, I would really love it if you subscribe to my channel too. Now let's move on to the second tie-down stage for a little polishing, committing to the drawing with a darker line, and adding some more detail. The head is looking good. We'll just make the muzzle a touch longer. We'll commit to the eyes and the bigger nose. And we'll clearly define the mouth. Let's darken up the ears and tighten up the antlers as they're looking a bit muddy. We'll darken up the line down his neck to the toes. Make sure that his feet are nice and small, as these make him a little bit silly. Commit to the tail and move on to his markings. This is where we'll be taking some artistic license by adding some deer-like spots on his back. Since young reindeer like Rudolph aren't spotted like other deer species, I'm adding these deer-like markings purely as a design choice. And okay, they're just fun to draw. Once we add a color separation line through his lower body and muzzle, we'll move on to the cleanup stage, where we'll finalize the look of the drawing with the style of our clean and final line. And today we're going to do something a little different by incorporating something called self-trace into our drawing. Self-trace was a practice used in the old Disney films, where the exterior line of an element was simply a darker tone of that element's color. For example, with Rudolph's red nose, the line will be a darker version of that red. We'll taper the line out to a thick as we take it out beyond his muzzle. This will make his nose even bigger. And then we'll taper the line back to a thin as we move inside his face. For the following cleanup lines, we'll be using a very dark brown. So let's begin by applying a thick and bold line to his antlers. For those that are new to my channel, and welcome by the way, for simple and graphic designs such as this, I like to apply a thick, bold line to the exterior line work and a thinner line to the interior line work. Now do be careful when applying that thick line, as a thick, bold line can drastically change the shape of your drawing. This is why I like to start my cleanup on the tie-down line, and then build it up by moving outwards. This minimizes any negative impact on your carefully worked out drawing. Let's clean up the lines that indicate the hooves. And now we're going to apply some more of that self-trace that we learned about earlier, this time with Rudolph's markings. Since they are going to be a reddish fawn, the line needs to be the same color, but a touch darker. Got it? We'll apply a nice thin line, as we don't want these lines to be a distraction, as their sole function is simply to hold color. We'll just add some markings to Rudolph's inner legs, and then we'll complete the drawing by adding the final colors. Did you know that reindeer come in a variety of colors, ranging all the way from dark brown to nearly white? But they don't seem to come in the typical reddish-brown deer color. And they definitely don't have a big red nose either. But I rather like that reddish-brown, so I'm going to use it for Rudolph's coat. As mentioned earlier, a reddish fawn for his markings, and inside the ears. We'll use a grey-brown for those preposterous little hooves, a light grey-brown for his antlers, and we'll finish by giving Rudolph a bright red shiny nose that glows. And your drawing of Rudolph is, finished? Hey, I thought his big red nose is supposed to be bright and shiny. He certainly won't be guiding any sleighs with that nose. Wait a second. Ah, there, that's better. A bright and shiny nose to guide Santa's sleigh. For more Christmas fun, why not check out these videos? Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas.